everyone, and welcome to KOMU 8 News, first at 5. We're live in Kansas City. Game 1 of the 2015 World Series, the Royals and the Mets. Jim Reek alongside Chris Trevino. This is kind of like Friday Night Fever. Will we talk sports first or weather? I think we'll talk weather first, and you are a trained meteorologist, correct?
Well, some may think that, but I'm really not, nor do I play one on TV. But what the heck, it's raining. I know that. Not heavily, though. They think most of it will clear out by tonight. Certainly the game is still on. The tarp is covering the field. They canceled batting practice. It will be interesting because what they don't want to do is start the game in iffy conditions and have it on again, off again, start, stop, start, stop. So they would make a decision, I really believe, before the scheduled start time of 7 as to whether or not they're going to play. And right now, all accounts are the game is on as scheduled.
And you also don't want a player getting hurt.
No, and you don't want to mess up teams pitching. And again, if it's a game where you have rain delays or multiple rain delays, that's just messy. They have a built-in travel day Thursday, so they could certainly push it back Wednesday, Thursday, but right now they don't think they're going to have to.
About an hour ago, we went down on the field. It is wet. It is very wet. And then about 40 minutes ago, it really started coming down hard again, and that lasted about 10, 15 minutes.
Right, and it's lightened up now, but it's just been on again, off again. And again, if it all stops by 7, I think they'll be fine. But if it's still raining close to 7, then they might really think about, do we even want to put up with this? Yep. Let's just come back tomorrow when the forecast is better.
Very quickly, one sports question. Are the Mets better than the Giants were last year?
Their starting pitching is certainly much deeper, yeah. Around the horn, I don't know that they're as good as the Giants, but their advantage over the Royals, one of the few, I think, is their starting rotation.
And are the Royals better than they were last year?
I think they are. Yeah. I really think they are. I think they're a complete team.
Yeah.
Offensively, defensively, the bullpen, the starting pitching, a little questionable, but if they can get through the 6th, 7th inning, we've seen it happen. They're dynamite.
All right, much more from Game 1 of the World Series a little bit later on. For now, let's send it back to the studio.
Our other top story today, 2 people died after a crash involving 3 semis and 4 other vehicles today. The wreck happened on I-70 heading east near Kingdom City, and it caused traffic to stop on both the east and westbound lanes. KOMU 8's Tyler Murray was at the scene this morning.
Debris, overturned trucks, and glass littered the eastbound lane on I-70 today.
You have 2 sets of vehicles that are traveling opposite directions. The speed limit's 70 miles an hour. That's quite a closing speed, and when those vehicles involve tractor trailers, that's quite an impact.
Missouri State Highway Patrol says a semi and several cars crossed over the median and collided head-on with another semi on the eastbound lane.
I spoke with one truck driver who declined to go on camera or have his name mentioned due to personal reasons, but he says he saw the trucks come over the median. He said it was a very terrifying experience seeing it all unfold.
The crash also injured 5 people, and they were taken to MU Hospital. White was unable to give any information as to their current statuses.
It's a tremendous collision. It's probably one of the most violent things that you can go through. And when 2 tractor trailers particularly hit, that's a lot of force involved.
Highway Patrol says it does not know the cause of the crash, but Ranch says weather like this can always make things more difficult on the roads.
White said he could not give an accurate estimate as to when the eastbound lane will be completely clear. As always, we'll bring you updates on our website, KOMU.com. 2 teens were sent to the hospital after a rollover accident on Highway 124 near Harrisburg. The driver, a 16-year-old boy, went to University Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The passenger, a 15-year-old girl, was pinned inside the vehicle until emergency crews arrived. Crews popped open the door and had to cut the girl's seatbelt to get her out of the car. Officials say she was conscious and alert when they sent her to the hospital.
Yeah, very lucky. It was several rollovers, 2 or 3 rollovers, left the roadway and then ended up where they're at upside down.
Officials did not yet have a cause for that accident. A Kansas City woman has been charged with starting a fire that killed 2 firefighters earlier this month. Court records show Thu Hong Nguyen faces 1 count of arson and 2 counts of second-degree murder. Investigators believe she was the last person in the salon, and reportedly told authorities she has received insurance money from other fires. Prosecutors have requested a bond of $2 million. If you're looking to start a new business, Missouri is actually the best place for you to set up shop. That's according to the most recent data by the U.S. Census Bureau. It says the Show Me State had a 16% increase in new businesses in 2013. The Columbia Chamber of Commerce president, Matt McCormick, says because the city is driven by higher education, there's a constant flux of interest and knowledge in starting a new business. He says the resources for those who want to be entrepreneurs are readily available in the city.
I think what you're starting to see, and especially here in Columbia, is a lot of focus being put on entrepreneurs, a lot of focus being put on startups and small businesses. And it's kind of that, if you will, that grow your own mentality.
Stacy Button, the president of Ready in Columbia, says the organization has received an increase in new applicants this year interested in starting their own businesses. Columbia will soon get a new mayor, and those interested can now file for candidacy. Current mayor Bob McDavid will step down after this term. He's been the mayor since 2010. Today marks the first day that residents can file to run for the city's top administrative position. McDavid says his successor will have the city's finances to contend with, but one resident believes the city's money needs to be reallocated to different areas.
The administration that we've seen, the city council and the mayor and the city manager, what they're more interested in doing is getting money out of the taxpayers' pocket and spending it in places that we're already doing well. We need to spend it in places we're doing bad, and that's definitely the sewers and the roads.
Applicants have until January 12th to file the necessary paperwork. The Justice Department announced today it will join ongoing investigations into the incident where a school resource officer took down a high school student. The incident in Columbia, South Carolina was recorded on another student's cell phone. NBC's Jay Gray has more.
A classmate's cell phone video shows the confrontation unfold inside a Columbia, South Carolina high school. A student who witnesses say was asked several times to leave the classroom refused, then was taken down by a school resource officer. And as this video from another student's camera shows, thrown across the floor.
I think he took it way too far. I don't think a woman should be handled like that in any circumstance.
While others in the community say the deputy was just doing his job.
The force was a little excessive, but if the student had done what she was supposed to do in the first place, it wouldn't have never taken place.
The young woman and a second student were arrested for disturbing school. The school district and sheriff's department are investigating the incident, and the Justice Department has opened a separate civil rights inquiry. The resource officer in the video, Deputy Ben Fields, has been with the Sheriff's Department since 2004. He was sued in 2007, along with several other officers, for excessive force, but was exonerated. He's been named in a second suit along with other school officials that claims Fields unfairly and recklessly targets African-American students with allegations of gang membership and criminal gang activity. That case is still pending as a new round of investigations now begins. Jay Gray, NBC News.
In other news, the U.S. Defense Secretary testified today saying the military will begin direct action on the ground in Iraq and Syria soon. Ash Carter says the U.S. will help Syrian forces fighting ISIS by ordering additional airstrikes. But Senator Lindsey Graham accused the Obama administration of not doing enough to bring down Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. The Joint Chiefs of Staff did acknowledge the balance of forces has tilted in Assad's favor. Representatives of the United Nations voted today condemning the United States trade embargo on Cuba. The U.S. and Israel were the only governments that voted to keep it. President Obama has previously said he wants to lift the restrictions, but Congress holds that power. Today's vote is non-binding, but can carry political weight. China is voicing strong objections today after a U.S. Navy warship sailed past one of China's artificial islands in the South China Sea. The move was aimed at challenging China's claims of sovereignty to the waters around the island. China's government says the move damaged U.S. and Chinese relations and has threatened regional peace. Maintenance workers are cleaning up the aftermath of Hurricane Patricia that hit last weekend. Patricia passed through parts of Mexico and damaged some of Mexico's most exclusive vacation homes. Dozens of homes in the region had their roofs blown off, but most of the buildings remained intact. Smaller villages around the area were more impacted by the storm. It was pretty rainy out there today, so let's ask Kenton what we can expect for the rest of the week.
Brittany, thanks very much. Into the middle of next week, we're back into the 70s with drier conditions starting to move back in. So certainly a warm start to the next month.
All right. Thanks, Kenton.
You're welcome.
Still to come, a live report from Kansas City in preparation for Game 1 of the World Series. And bad news for Chocoholics, just days away from Halloween. To help give car seats to low-income families. The program started the year with $2,000 to buy car seats, and it's now asking for $800 more from the United Way. The money would be used to buy 14 new car seats for families in Randolph County. Today, Save Kids Columbia was able to give car seats to families. volunteering to help give car seats to low-income families. The program started the year with $2,000 to buy car seats, and it's now asking for $800 more from the United Way. The money would be used to buy 14 new car seats for families in Randolph County. Today, Save Kids Columbia was able to give car seats to families. A car seat program in Randolph County needs more funding to help give car seats to low-income families. The program started the year with $2,000 to buy car seats, and it's now asking for $800 more from the United Way. The money would be used to buy 14 new car seats for families in Randolph County. Today, Save Kids Columbia was able to give car seats to families. Volunteers showed parents how to properly install the car seats and safely buckle up their kids.
What it does is it helps provide safe new car seats for children and for their parents to be able to use them, hopefully the right way.
The Randolph County United Way will meet tomorrow to decide whether or not they'll provide additional funds for the car seat program. Caring for a person suffering from dementia costs more in the patient's last 5 years of life than healthcare costs of other diseases. The National Institutes of Health reports healthcare spending for a person with dementia in the last 5 years of life comes out to be more than $250,000 per person. The National Institutes of Health reports healthcare spending for a person with dementia in the last 5 years of life comes out to be more than $250,000 per person. The NIH says this is more than people spend for diseases like cancer and heart disease. The U.S. Preventative Task Force is recommending all overweight and obese adults be screened for abnormal blood sugar levels. The panel of experts says patients with high blood sugar should receive intensive diet and exercise routines, which puts them at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. About 37% of American adults have abnormal blood sugar levels. And Halloween is coming up, and you might want to eat you'll probably want to eat some chocolate, but some studies suggest chocolate may reduce heart disease and dementia. However, experts say the majority of chocolate is not a healthy food, and Harvard researchers say the amount of natural compounds used in chocolate products varies greatly. You may need to consume more than 700 calories of dark chocolate to get those positive effects. In less than 2 hours, Kansas City and New York will face off in the 2015 World Series, and Royals fans are not letting the rain dampen their spirits. KOMU8's Jenna Middaugh joins us live from Power and Light. Jenna?
That's right. We haven't seen a blue sky here all day, but there's plenty of blue around town to make up for it. A Kansas City maintenance mechanic says the city has been dyeing about 5 of the city's fountains blue for about 2 months. He says people have even been buying dye to put in other fountains around town and even into ponds. No need to worry, though. The dye is non-toxic. There weren't a lot of people walking around town because of the rain, but one fan I met says there's no way a little rain will ruin her day.
Oh my gosh, I bleed blue now, so I've got to be out here. It's just fun, and being around people that are all excited about baseball, I had to do it. I mean,
Power and Light is showing the game on the big screen here. We'll have more updates on how fans are feeling once the game has started, and we'll be back in studio after the break. But for right now, reporting live in Kansas City, Jenna Middaugh, KOMU8 News.
2 people are dead and at least 5 others injured after a major accident on Highway 70 near Kingdom City this morning. KOMU8's Tyler Murray is live near the scene of the accident with the latest details.
2 people are dead after a crash involving 3 semis and 4 vehicles. The crash happened on Interstate 70 heading eastbound, and it closed both east and westbound lanes behind me. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says a semi and several cars crossed over the median and collided head-on with another semi on the eastbound lane. The crash also injured 5 people, and they were taken to MU Hospital, whose conditions are unknown. The cause of the crash is still unknown. Reporting live from Kingdom City, Tyler Murray, KOMU8 News.
Here's what's ahead on KOMU8 News at 6. A Mid-Missouri representative is threatening to impeach a Cole County judge. We'll tell you why the judge is under fire. That's when we see you right back here after Nightly News.
Widespread rain will continue over the next couple hours, and then about midnight we'll start to see that really just kind of lighten up to just some spotty sprinkles, some spotty drizzle across the area. Otherwise, it's going to be a windy one tomorrow afternoon, 60 degrees there for a high temperature on Wednesday afternoon. And then by Thursday, Friday, we're dry, but then Friday, late evening, more rain moves in, continues through Halloween and then into Sunday and Monday with just a couple waves moving through. So it won't be raining the whole time. That's good. But we do still need the rain.
Everyone will be keeping their eyes on Halloween now.
Exactly. Might have to tweak the Halloween costume a bit.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good night.